premier memory care residence in South Florida. It's nestled on 2 private acres, mirroring the natural beauty of the area. Artis is designed to provide the comforts of home with daily opportunities to engage as a member of our community and as a resident of beautiful Boca.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face.
Call to
and
schedule
posting
your
on their
virtual tour
feed.
at
They're super ugly. The things they say to them
569-9945.
online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend.
I can't hear you. I called in.
Insurance?
Hello?
Bicycle on a country road, or simply take a walk near traffic. Everyone is at risk. Since 1969, members of the American Traffic Safety Services Association have worked diligently to make our nation's roadways safer by providing the majority of roadway safety features, including bright signs and pavement markings, guardrails, and crash cushions. These are just some of the roadway devices that save thousands of lives each day. Since most of our roadways were built in the 1950s, there's so much more work that needs to be done to reach the ultimate goal of 0 deaths. Safer roads save lives. To learn how you can get involved, visit atssa.com. A public service message from the American Traffic Safety Services Association.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second? And the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k.
So we don't just throw bingo on the calendar. The activity, the programming calendar actually looks like the residents that live there. So if mom loved flower arranging, we're going to get flower arranging onto the calendar. If dad loved playing blackjack, we're going to ensure we can get us a group together to play blackjack. And so we're always looking to ensure that people are able to live their best life the way they want to. And we understand how important that is. And I think Samara is connected now.
It just started working.
That's how, because apparently it wanted me to talk a lot before you could actually come in. It's almost like the system knows that it needs to hear my voice on the microphone and then things work. Boom.
Well, Melinda's a way better talker than I am, so that's probably why this happened.
Not true. Not true. Actually, Samara and I have done a couple of television spots as well back when we did some things with WPTV. You can always go to our YouTube channel at Artist Senior Living of Boca Raton. You can search that on YouTube and you'll be able to find all of our video spots, including those there as well. So Samara, thank you so much for joining.
Yay! Hi! How are you?
I'm
Hi,
good.
everybody.
We miss you.
Miss you too, Melinda. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too. It's almost like we're on a video call.
I know. It's really nice and refreshing, and I miss it.
Yay. So I was just telling everyone that we might get a chance to see Levi, but I may have set false expectations.
He could make a guest appearance.
Okay.
He's still up.
We'll let you talk first, and then we'll
We'll get the other guest appearance.
Yeah. So tell us, everyone knows that you are the previous director of the
Yes.
Artist Way Experience. Our
Yes.
current director of the Artist Way Experience is Rebecca Schuler, who came in and is doing a phenomenal job in keeping our families engaged with video calls and our family visits that we now do on the back patio, window visits. All of those things are still important. But Samara was there pre-COVID and knows a lot about what goes on at Artist Boca and is the guru of the Artist Way philosophy. So we thought we need to bring her on so she can talk about her experience and why, if we ever wanted her to come back and work for Artist Boca, she totally would at the drop of a dime.
I'm flattered. Yeah, it's honestly an amazing organization. Of course, I'm biased because I worked for artists as senior living, but honestly, it was a really, really great company, and they truly care about their residents and their associates. And it's not just your typical assisted living facility. It's a community, and that's what we really strive, or that's what I really strive in all of our associates, to make sure that the resident was comfortable, in this new setting, especially with the disease that they're going through. So we really try to make sure that not only, of course, that who they were as a person, but did they know what they were going through themselves? Not just about their hobbies, but what made them happy, what made them scared, just so we were aware of how to help them flourish in our community.
Yeah, yeah. And some of my most vivid memories and some of my favorite parts even now are our move-in gifts, where a lot of people, you move into a new community, you get a nice new blanket or you get a little care package, but we do something different when it comes to the move-in gifts. And I know you have been a big part of many of the standout the move-in gifts that we've done before. Tell us a little bit about the fire truck.
So we had a gentleman that was part of the New York Fire Department. And so Rebecca actually reached out to, I think he was a lieutenant, of actually another resident that happened to live there. He was the son-in-law, and or the resident was the father-in-law of the person that lived at Artis. So we actually got the fire truck to come to Artis the day the resident had moved in, and the fire department, the local fire department of Boca Raton, they brought clothing, shirts, polos for the resident. And so we brought the resident out, and we were like all in tears because he was a former New York firefighter, and he was in tears because he couldn't believe, like, you know, that all these firefighters were here for him. And so they brought the truck, and they were reminiscing about the truck and how it's changed over the years. And that's just something of who we are, who you know, what I was a part of at Artis is just, you know, these residents aren't just residents with this disease. They were people prior to this disease, and they could still be these same people. And that's what we were trying to have people understand, that it's not just people with dementia coloring at a table or doing puzzles. That's not what we were about. We were about, you know, building meaningful relationships, having meaningful programming, and, you know, watching the residents and their loved ones, you know, come together. And it was a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah. And guys, I want to talk about a really, really interesting piece that if some of you had been a part of the Artis Boca Thumb Drive contest, you may know what I'm talking about. And we're going to talk about it after a break. We're going to go to a little bit of a break here in just a few seconds. And I want you to stay on, Samira, okay?
I'll stay on.
Awesome. So let's go to break.
Artis Senior Living of Boca Raton, Florida is Palm Beach. Artis Senior Living of Boca Raton, Florida is Palm Beach County's premier memory care residence in South Florida. It's nestled on 2 private acres, mirroring the natural beauty of the area. Artis is designed to provide the comforts of home, with daily opportunities to engage as a member of our community and as a resident of beautiful Boca Raton. Call to schedule your virtual tour at 561-989-9945.
All righty. Thank you so much for staying with us. And we're going to bring Samira back into the room because one of my favorite stories of all actually happened before, and that they're one of a kind spirit Artis Boca. And if you were part of the Artis Boca Thumb Drive contest, you may know what I'm talking about. We had a really cool contest where people were able to register. We sent them a pin that had a special thumb drive on the end, and you had to, it was a plug and play. You listened to the video, you watch the video to the end to see if you win. And then people won things like air fryers, popcorn machines, margarita machines. I mean, we had a lot of cool prizes. But what I thought was so cool was that at the end of that, even people that didn't win still emailed in that though they didn't win, they loved the video that was on there. And Samira, you may not know which video, one of the videos that we placed onto these thumb drives was actually our interview with WPTV, where we talked about the wedding that happened at Artis Boca.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted, because you were a big part of that, and I wanted you to talk about the wedding that happened at Artis Boca.
So we now rent out the venue at Artis. No, I'm just kidding. But we had a wife of a resident who came to Artis every day to visit her husband. And every day he said, I want to marry you. And so she wanted to renew her vows and not tell her family at Artis, or she didn't want to tell her family. So our executive director was like, no, you have to include your family.
By the
our
way,
executive director,
by the way, she says hi, Samira.
hi. She's an awesome boss. She's amazing. She leads everything there. So the family member had said to Cheryl, no, I don't want to tell my family. And Cheryl's like, no, we have to, get we have to get them to come. So it ended up we made a wedding at Artis, and so I worked with the daughter with the decorations, and in the Jewish religion you have a huppah, and they were Jewish, and so they had a reception and the wedding, and they blew up the invitation, their original invitation, and so the daughters had walked the resident, the husband, down the aisle, and the wife walked down with one of the son-in-laws, and they renewed their vows. And the resident kept saying to his wife, "I love you so much, you're so beautiful," and we were all in tears. But it was a real wedding. Like we had the aisle, we had the roses. We had some residents come and sit for the wedding, and we actually had the residents write anniversary cards and wedding cards to the couple for one of our other programs that was called I'm All Right. So it was just a really, really beautiful day. And that's, again, just something that we had to do for these two amazing people at Artis.
And that it always kind of puts little tears in the back of my eyes, because I know that the family remembers that and cherishes that so much. Literally, they are our family. The wife actually is now a resident with us as well, and because the family understands that we hold our residents to a really, really high mark, meaning that we're not just there caring for their dementia, we're there caring for people that have stories, right? They were married, they still have anniversaries, and they still have birthdays, and they still have things that they like and things that they hate, and we are there to be in tune with that. And that is what I love about Artis Senior Living as a company. The philosophy, it's very real. It's not just a plaque on a wall. It's very much ingrained into everything that we do, from their clinical needs to our programming, our life enrichment, to just our everyday, our care partners and the way that they give care. You can walk into someone's room and find a care partner giving someone a head massage, painting nails, those kind of things. So I love that wedding story because it embodies so much of why we are #BocaBest. Truly.
And there was one quick story. I knew I was doing my job, so to speak. We had a resident, and he used to travel to different hotels, and he used to stay at hotels for free all the time. It was part of his job, consulting. And so his daughter had said to me, "Please, Samara, make sure everybody knows that everything is free here," because he thinks he's in a hotel, that the food is free, that the room is free, everything's free, because he doesn't want to worry about that. So after he had passed away, she had said to me, she was so relieved, because every time she came, he said, "Oh, everything's covered, everything's paid for," because that's what I had told the care partners and the nurses and the rest of the associates, that to keep telling this resident that everything's free. You can have everything you want, as much as you want. You can stay as long as you want. And that's what made him comfortable. And that's just the little thing, the little extra step we take to how we get to know our residents and make sure they have an easy transition.
Yeah, that's a great segue into transitions, because we actually just had a new resident move in today, and we had to do more of that digging in deep of what's important for them, so that we're able to give a story that helps that transition be smooth for them, and not to downplay how much of a serious and big move it is, but to make it easier for them. So I know, Samara, you used to talk about therapeutic fibbing, things like that. That's very common in the memory care world, but talk it out a little more when it comes to a family that's like, mom is never going to want to move. It's never going to be an easy transition. What are some of the things that you remember from what we do at Artis Boca to help that transition be smooth?
Right. So basically what I would ask families is, what is mom or dad going to believe? Or what is your husband or wife going to believe? Because you know them best. And, are they going to believe that they're, coming to Artis to stay for a few weeks to get a little bit stronger to go home? Or are they going to believe, something happened to the house where now they have to, move into an apartment. And so it really depends on the family, and it's working very closely with the family, because there's residents that you can be tangled in their lie, and if you keep lying to them, the resident is going to know. And then there's some residents where you do have to lie to them, and that I know a lot of people say, no, that's not right, I can't lie, but we are in their reality. There's the truth, or there's their reality, there's our reality, and one of them is not going to change. So we have to be in their reality. And so really, I just work with the family, I work with the resident on what really is going to make a smooth transition. And that was part of my role, to just keep following up with the resident, keep following up with the family member, and follow up with the rest of the associates who are interacting with the resident daily to make sure that their transition is smooth, that anything that the resident is asking for that they want, I'm making sure that we get that to artists.
Yeah, and that's part of the whole move-in process for the day, is communicating with the entire team, the care partners, the directors, the entire staff of this resident's coming. And what's happened, what we're letting them know what's happened is there's a water leak at home, and they're here, for that stay, or it's rehab, or whatever that, like you said, to going into their reality is. Everyone knows. And that's also a important piece. The only way, like you said, that we're able to really have effective transitions is by knowing that resident. Can you talk a little bit about the partnership profile? Tell everybody about what that is.
Yes, absolutely. So the partnership profile was a very detailed, it was about 10 pages long, and it wasn't just questions about, the residents' hobbies and, their birthday. It had very specific information about if they knew that they had dementia, what makes them happy, again, what makes them upset. Are there any holidays that trigger? Are there any names of family members that trigger them? Are there any experiences that trigger them? So it was a very important document for myself, and I would get it beforehand and really scan it, and kind of make bullets for myself, what is important to the resident. Because sometimes just talking to a resident and bringing up their hometown, they're like, okay, I instantly feel comfortable. Or I instantly feel comfortable with this person. Or if they hear their daughter's name, not just your daughter, but your daughter Lucy, they instantly feel comfortable. So that was really my light into a short part of their world, and communicating that information to all of our associates at Artis.
Yeah.
To ensure that they have a smooth transition.
Yeah. And I know that there are other communities, other companies that use something similar to the partnership profile, but I think it's important to know how we apply it to everything. So like you said, it's not just a listing of what are their hobbies, what do they like, but it's very, very in-depth in getting to know them. Case in point today, our move-in today, many times that partnership profile, our director of marketing, who hopefully you'll get to meet tonight, Ayana Cunningham, over the phone, and then our director of the Artist Way experience, which was the role that Samira was in, that is now Rebecca Schuler, and myself, I'm the director of community relations. I'm going over that with a fine-tooth comb, because I want to know what's going to make a really great move-in gift for them. And so if it's not the fire truck, right? Or if it's not, like we had one lady who, she was very much into comfort and high fashion comfort. We were able to get her those really nice slippers and a really nice Chanel blanket. Like, it needed to be, she knew her stuff and it needed to look nice. Today, however, had a gentleman that worked on, he was a technician, an auto technician, and he loves helping people. He likes working with his hands. And so I went, actually, Samara, I wanted to tell you that I thought of you, because I thought, we thought maybe if we did like a birdhouse that he could put together, maybe that would be something he likes. So I scoured the internet. I'm an Amazon chick, right? Everyone else is going to Hobby Lobby. I'm like, is it on Amazon? Can I get it delivered? And I went,
Today.
Samara, I could not find a birdhouse kit that didn't have a child on it.
Hmm.
And all I could hear was you saying, they're not children, they're adults. So we're very, very,
Absolutely.
very big on ensuring that we're not running a daycare, right? If these are adults
Hmm.
that have lived lives that have hobbies and interests that far
And who have fought
exceed
in our
many times.
military.
Exactly,
Hmm.
right. Lawyers and doctors and on set on board. So you should know that your words still echoed like a little ghost. They're not children. So I could not
Yay!
buy the birdhouse. However, I was able to buy a model car kit. Um,
Very
and
cool.
today, our new resident and Rebecca, our new director of the Artist Way Experience, he supervised her in the
Ah.
building of this model car. It was the perfect gift for him, right? It wasn't
Hmm.
just something that we, a cookie cutter kind
Hmm.
of gift. It was the perfect thing for him. He may
Hmm.
not necessarily be able to do all the things that he used to do, but he loves
Hmm.
cars. And she was like, "Am I doing this right?" And he's like, yeah, yeah, I see you're doing a great job. And she was like, "Did you want to try?" He was like, "I do these all day. You're good. Yeah, I want to teach you how to do it." So it was great. And just wanted you to know that your impact is still felt at Artist Boca, hashtag Boca Best.
I feel honored. Thank you.
You should feel honored. And I know we've talked a lot about the transition of the move-in day, right? And the Artist Way, the director of the Artist Way experience does a lot of that. However, it goes way above the first day of move-in. You're literally the connector, the director of the Artist Way experience. We call it the keeper of the philosophy. It's the connector, especially during this time when family members are not able to walk freely through those doors like they always did before.
Hmm.
It ensures that connectivity. Tell me, talk about a little bit more about what that looked like, even before, because I know you came, you left before. Before COVID did its thing, right before. It's almost like, did you know something we didn't? You're laughing. You didn't answer. You knew something. We have a whole bunch of this could be hashtag Boca Best Show, the conspiracy theorist show.
I
Um,
was waiting for us to have a show together. Just waiting for you to ask me.
this is the Samara and Melinda show. No, but talk a little bit about how you helped families stay connected, even when they couldn't be there. Because even before the pandemic, we've had families and we have families that live in other states.
Mhm.
And many, especially being in Florida, you'll find that a lot where, the daughter lives in New York or, um, the mom got stuck here and the husband's still in Indiana, that kind of thing. So talk a little bit about how we do that at Artists.
Oh, absolutely. So that was a very vital part of my role. So I would send a lot of picture texts to family members. We would chat on the phone. I would send them emails. We would still do video call. I'm sure I know that you're doing a lot more, obviously, with
Mhm.
COVID, but we did a lot of video calls before COVID with family members just because, the families want to see eyes on their loved one and they have every right to. this
Right.
is this is their parent or this is their husband, this is their wife. But we would also send mail to family members. So I even remember one time during the holidays we sent a Christmas card to a daughter, and she called me up crying and she said, "Samara, this is the first Christmas card I've gotten in 5 years from my dad." And it's those little things that you don't really think about, but when that loved one gets a phone call for their birthday,
Right.
which we also did, we would call the family members on their birthday or send a card. But when they get that phone call, they're like, "My mom hasn't, called me in years, not because she didn't want to, but because she doesn't understand the concept of time anymore."
Right.
So it was those little things that really still connected the family member. and our residents. And that's part of our philosophy, is to respect and maintain those relationships. And also, we would have a lot of parties at Artists, which also, because think about Mother's Day, a lot of residents, would go out with their loved ones on brunch, or, share cards and chocolate and flowers. We would have those parties at Artists for those residents and their families to spend together as they used to do.
Yeah. And you're so right. It makes everything so much more lively, not just for the resident, but also for the family. Like you said, to get almost kind of like, I've heard many family members say that they feel like they got their loved one back. When they had not been able to engage them the way that we did, in order to free up those little special moments because they were always so busy trying to care for them, having those special moments weren't happening anymore. And that's what we do. And you were such an important part of that, Samira. And like I said, even though you're gone, you're still an important part of that. So much of what you've trained over the years there at Artists Boca have a lasting power, and it is truly what makes us #BocaBest.
Trying. I love Artists. It's an amazing place. They've got a good thing there.
Thank you so much. Do we get a chance to see Levi now?
I will go see if he's still up.
Okay, so she's going to go check on the baby. I'm going to talk your ear off while she goes to do that.
Right now.
Because again, for any of you who are kind of like joining in the middle, this is the inaugural #BocaBest show. If you've joined on our Facebook page over the past few months, you know that we've tried to stay connected with you either by going Facebook Live or having pre-recorded, edited versions of the #BocaBest show. And we are so excited to be able to come via this platform, which not only shows us live on Facebook, but also on the radio. So if you are close by, every other Monday, starting this Monday, so not next Monday, but the Monday after, every other Monday, you can tune into 96.9 FM, 95.3 FM, 103.9 FM, or 1470 AM, and join us for the #BocaBest show. Samira is back with the little chubby cheek guy, Levi. Introduce him.
Introduce himself. He's waving to everybody.
Hi, Levi.
That's Melinda. I used to work with her.
He's got the cutest cheeks. Oh my goodness. How old is he now?
He turned a year on Thursday.
And I asked that just for the other people. I knew that because his birthday
Melinda knew
is
that.
actually on my anniversary date for working with Boca. So we were kind of like connected in that way.
He has a lot to say. He's going to be on radio one day.
Introducing Levi Schneider. He actually sounds like an actor. Oh, he's so happy.
He's the center of attention like his mother.
Cheryl says, hi, Levi.
Hi, Auntie Cheryl.
Hi. Oh, gosh. Well, thank you so much, Samira, for coming through today. I really, really appreciate you. I thought it was super special that you would be the first guest after being the first guest. And I don't know, Levi, well, we showed a picture of Levi on the very first #BocaBest show. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
His picture
I
up.
remember.
So it's full circle here. We're full circling it here. Oh, gosh.
How to pass him to Daddy.
Samira, thank you so much again. And hopefully you'll be able to join us again. This is not the last time we're going to see your face, right?
No, this isn't the last time.
Oh, guys, thank you so much. So we're actually going to go to break. I want everybody to say au revoir to Samira, or how do you say see you later in French?
I think it's au revoir.
It's still au revoir, regardless?
I don't know. I was
that's
born in Canada.
It's not very diverse in language.
I know
Okay,
way
so
more Spanish.
okay, so hasta luego.
Bye, everybody. Have a great night.
All right, so we're going to go to break, guys, and we'll see you back in just a few seconds. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to memory care at Artis Senior Living, so we seek to clear the way for positive growth and possibility. We encourage our residents to explore their interests, whatever they may be. With Artis Boca, you can be sure that your loved one's unique needs are met and that their one-of-a-kind spirit is honored and engaged. Call 561-989-9945 today and schedule your virtual tour.
You're listening to the hashtag Boca Best Show, presented by Artis Senior Living of Boca Raton, the best in South Florida memory care.
All right, we are back, and we are going into our next segment, which you do not want to miss. If you are doing anything right now, go ahead and sit down for about 7 to 8 minutes, because we are going to highlight something some of you may have seen. If you've been on our Facebook page, you have seen a walk down memory lane, which is a interview series with some of our residents. Our first one was uploaded a few months ago. We're about to upload another one, but this one is with Kay, one of our awesome residents there. This lady is always dressed to the nines, still dresses as if she's going to the office every day, and she's such a light at Artis Boca. And we wanted to share her with you. We love her family, and we love that her family trusts us to have her as one of our neighbors. So we are now going to show you a walk down memory lane. I just want to know a little bit more about Kay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so tell us about you, Kay.
Well, now what I did. Oh, you know what I did? I did bring some pictures.
Oh, that's awesome.
Share those with you because the company here evidently asked my daughter or someone in my family.
So tell us, Kay, where were you born? Where were you
I was
from?
born in North Carolina, and I grew up in Ohio. And we lived in the country part of the time, and we were in the city in part of the time. So I love to either place you can plant me, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of fun. These are my kids, my grandkids, my husband's,
Oh.
the whole group. And this is my dog. And here's a sad thing. He died about 2 weeks ago. Isn't that sad? I had him for 16 years, and here he is. And the people,
What was his name?
Buster we would go out every day 3 times, and he would go for a walk. And every time he saw somebody coming, he just got so happy and excited. And he would go up to them gently, not aggressively at all, you know, and just let's say hi to them, you know, and keep his little tail going, and just was real happy.
So tell us, you are a very fashionable lady. Where do you get your fashion sense from?
I went to a modeling school. I always loved clothes and hair things and things like that.
Yeah.
And so I asked my parents if I could do that. And they said, well, they put some limitations on the plan. I love to coordinate things, and I come up with hair things and crazy.
You always look so great.
I've had so many compliments.
So now what did you do for a living?
I worked for Levitt's Furniture, and I started out with them in their corporate office, and it was a family-owned business for years, and it grew significantly over those years, so it was kind of fun. And the people that were in the company were local people.
Right.
So everybody knew everybody, and then when you were a new one, that's, everybody was kind and nice and helped you, and it was great.
Right.
It was so fun. As it evolved, I had the opportunity to do different things than I'd ever done in any other job.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they hadn't done them before either. And I was doing things for the first time for them. And they were like so happy with it because it was good, it was productive, and it improved the business and made it more interesting for everybody involved, you know.
Can't ask for anything
I
more.
said, that's great.
Yeah.
And then I started getting into horses.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I was, that's one of the pictures in our stable.
What's your sign? Are you, do you know you're
I'm Scorpio.
you're a Scorpio?
Yes. Why? I think that's interesting. I don't think anyone asked me that. I really like to get things done right.
Yes.
That's important to me. So I'm okay. If you want me to tear something apart and start all over again, because that wasn't what you were thinking I should be heading into, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to have the best time in this life while I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, you have an airplane?
Well, we did have an airplane. I don't know if he still has it. But when we got divorced, he didn't fly around like we did together.
Yeah.
So but then we did take trips
How often did you fly?
whenever we had someplace to go.
Yeah.
We traveled, we skied, we did all kinds of fun stuff.
Wow.
So that's just a part of me, you know. I just love to do fun stuff. And I think it's important to give our kids that sense of adventure and fun.
Yeah.
Because that's life was really how I like life to be.
Yeah.
I love these pictures. I bet you are the same way.
Yeah, I do.
I love my pictures.
Yeah. And do you have any words of wisdom before we close?
A
What do you say to
life in
that?
general.
Yeah.
I am such a girl for life, I can't tell you. I love to do things, and I love to try new things. I love to do athletic things. I competed in the Junior Olympics.
Oh. What kind of sports did you play?
I did cycling.
Okay.
When what's his name was cycling in the mountains in North Carolina. He's a great cyclist. He got caught taking some kind of drugs. You know who
Yeah, I know who you're talking
you know
about.
who I'm talking
'Cause
about?
He used to wear the
He was known all over the world, I think.
yeah.
But he just kind of screwed himself up I'm by the books. I'm by the books.
Lance Armstrong.
Lance Armstrong,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
I didn't compete with him
Uh-huh.
because I wasn't at that stage yet.
Right.
But he was on my mountain practicing and all the time. I love sports. I do ice skating, roller skating. I try to do just about everything I can think of.
Yeah.
And hope I have fun doing it. Yeah, it's so fun. And I try to teach my boys how important sports and having a good time and being nice to other people and have fun
Yeah.
and things like those. And it's fun.
Okay, you are lovely.
Thank you.
Enjoyed a walk down memory lane with Kay. It's one of my favorite pieces to be able to see her talk about her life. It was her talking about her life and not me having to direct anything, because it just is another testament to how our residents, people with dementias, any sort of dementia, they are still a person. They still have things that they like and love, and they still have memories and experiences and loves and hates. And we're there to support that, to have a dignified way of living. I know when I left senior living for a little bit before I came to Artis, I had a little bit of a taste in my mouth that thought that memory care was where people went and sat in a corner and colored. Maybe they listened to some music. But coming to Artist Boca totally changed my understanding of what true memory care is. The residents there and the families there are everything to us. And so without the incredible team led by Cheryl Taylor, as well as Noel Fagans, our Director of Health and Wellness, Rebecca Schuler, our Director of the Artist Way Experience. You've got Paul Shevlin, who is our Director of Environmental Services, Andres Marin, who is our Chef Andres. He's the Director of Culinary Services, Diana Shade, who is our Director of Business Services. It's an incredible team. And I would be remiss if I did not also mention Ayana Cunningham, who is our Director of Marketing. And we're actually going to get her on the phone here, and she's going to talk us through what it looks like to talk to her. Do we have her on the phone?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Ayana!
Hey,
Hey.
what's going on?
So you heard me drilling off everybody else's name. Were you feeling a way that I hadn't gotten to your name yet?
No, I knew, you saved some of the best for last, so, I knew it was coming up somewhere.
So Ayana Cunningham is our Director of Marketing. She has been on board with us since the beginning of this pandemic, which you would think was just a little while ago, but believe it or not, we're in, what month are we in now? Are we in like 8-9 months of this?
Yeah, seriously, it's way too long, whatever it is.
Right. Yeah. I don't think any of us saw this coming, but you came right in and you have been an incredible piece of this team. Rebecca used to be in that role, and she's now the Director of the Artist Way Experience. And now you, as our Director of Marketing, you lead our sales process there inside of the building. You are the first person that families speak with when they are needing a resource like us. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. As you noted earlier, and you mentioned we had a move-in today, so I'm happy about that. Everything went smoothly. So, everything is great.
Great. And then you saw Samara. Did you get a chance to see Samara?
Yes, I did. And Levi, I'm so happy that I got to see them both. And, it just speaks volumes when you're able to have a former employee come on and speak highly of the company and the philosophy and still, be able to say something positive about the experience that they had, because we know how that can be.
Right. Yeah, and I know we talked a lot today about our families, about people that are needing questions answered about memory care and that transition, how that looks for a loved one coming in. But let's talk a little bit about our referrals, our professional referral sources, our community partners. I know that many times they are also looking for resources and they contact us. Maybe we have a opening, or maybe we don't. We normally do stay pretty full, just so we know that, put that out there as well too. Artist Boca is known to not have as much availability as maybe some others. Right now we do. So Ayana is actually who you want to call. You want to talk a little bit about that process, Ayana, for moving into Artist Boca?
Sure. So the great thing about our, just our philosophy and everything that we believe in is that we believe in being a resource and partnerships. And the great thing is that once a family member or a caregiver calls our community, they know that they're in the best hands. And even if we're not the solution, because, while we would love to be everyone's solution, the reality is that we aren't. So the great thing is because we have the great resources and the partnerships of the community that we're able to kind of steer them in the right direction, right? Whether that be to a community directly that we know would be a great solution for them, or maybe sometimes we even refer to a private referral agent. So it just depends. We really have these great relationships, so we're able to kind of take it situation by situation and see what the best solution is for each individual.
Right. And I think it's important for people to know how to do business with us. And I know you and I have talked before about we're going to be doing a big presentation on relationship and referrals so that people understand that sending a referral to Artis Boca is not just sending us an email with the person's name, that we are looking for community partners that are in here to do relationship with us so that we're able to support a family. Normally, families looking for memory care are already in probably one of the biggest decisions they're going to make in their life, and it's highly emotional. So can you talk to us a little bit about what that looks like to partner with us?
Yes. So as I said before, the great thing is that, this isn't our first rodeo, so we have great partnerships and we have great resources. But also, what I think the number one thing for people to be able to refer to us is that they know that once they have a family member come into our care in our hands, that we are able to handle things to the best of our capabilities. And we're able to ensure that the families will get some type of solution, regardless of if it is Artis or not. And for instance, we had someone refer to us, and we weren't the solution, but we were still able to educate the family members. Sometimes people don't know the difference between a memory care community and assisted living and skilled nursing, right? So as we stated before, this is a very pivotal point in everyone's lives. It's not a major transition just for the residents, also for the family members. Just think of people who have been married for several decades, and now they have to go move their loved one into a community. It can be very tough. So it's very important to know that they're going to be in safe hands and people who have sympathy for them, and then we know how to communicate effectively and handle someone who has emotional needs, but get the job done at the same time.
Exactly. And also, even if they're not, like you said before, even if they're not a good fit for Artis Boca, we are diligent on ensuring that people get the resources that they need, and that may be another community. And also because of where we sit on Federal Highway, we get calls all the time for people that don't necessarily need memory care. Maybe they're really looking for assisted living, or maybe they have home health care needs, and they're just reaching out because our sign says Artis Senior Living. And so we get to be the person, the people that fill those calls and connect people. I know, Ayana, we have an event coming up on January 27th. We'll get that flyer posted to our Facebook page soon. And so you can visit our Facebook page at Artis Senior Living of Boca Raton. You can also go to theartisway.com/Boca Best. And we'll talk about more of that on our next #Boca Best show. We thank you guys so much for joining us for this inaugural episode of the #Boca Best show radio version. And be sure to go and like our Facebook page and our Instagram and our YouTube. And that way you can stay connected to everything that we do. Ayana, is there anything you wanted to add before we sign off?
Yes, and please feel free to give us a call. Our number is 561-989-9945, and you can ask for Ayana Cunningham or Melinda Pollard. We're both able to assist you with whatever your needs may be.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth, Ayana. And I am Melinda Pollard, Director of Community Relations. That was Ayana Cunningham, Director of Marketing at Artis Senior Living of Boca Raton, #Boca Best. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
This week's episode of the #Boca Best show. Catch us every other Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern and call us anytime at 561-989-9945.